Hello and welcome to the Post Podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Lowry, and today we are visiting Shiloh Baptist Church where I will be interviewing Dr. Paul A. Lowe Jr. You can see here he is the pastor and he's also a state senator in this district. So please enjoy the show, and let's get this thing going. Our topic today will be social contributors of health, and that is how places we live, learn, and work impact our well-being. I'm honored to be joined by North Carolina State Senator Paul Lowe Jr., who's been a strong advocate for education, equity, and healthcare across our state. Some of the bills that he has worked on are the healthcare cost bill, workers' comp pay for hearing aids and glasses, AEDs and CPRs in schools, and bills that support veterans and firefighters. He's been at the forefront of the community and ensuring that everyone gets the care that they need. Now let's take a quick look at Dr. Lowe's District 32 in North Carolina. According to the census report, he has a robust population of 212,167 people. The median age is 38, and it looks like it is evenly distributed at all ages. The median income is $68,000, but if you look right onto the right, there's about 37% under $50,000 a year. Mobility, as far as population migration, not many people are moving into the city or out, but it seems that the growth is coming from within. A quick look at education, and you can see that there are various degrees that people have obtained, but the majority of his district just has a high school education or below. These are just some of the areas that we'll probably be discussing coming up in this session. All right, hello and welcome to today's podcast. I'm glad you're joining us for the important conversation of social contributors of health. When we think about health, many of us picture hospitals, doctors, medicine, but in reality, our health is also shaped by where we live, where we work, where we worship, our access to food, transportation, education, income. All those affect our whole well-being. Today, I'm blessed to be honored to be joined by Pastor Lowe, Senator, North Carolina State Senator of District 32, which includes parts of Winston-Salem and Forsyth County. He's been a strong voice for education, equity, healthcare, and access across our state. Senator Lowe, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Before we dive into specifics, let's start with the basics. Senator Lowe, when you hear about social contributors of health, what does that mean to you?
Obviously, I think you've named some of those things already. You have to look at the economy. You have to look at where a person lives, access to health care and responsible health care. I think that means a whole lot, and your social surroundings have a lot to do with it. Certainly when COVID took place, we learned a lot about healthcare. We even learned a lot about where people get their information about healthcare, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's very, very bad. But all of those things contribute. Transportation contributes, education contributes. All of those things contribute to one's health care in one way or another.
Okay. So in your district and across North Carolina, what do you see as the most pressing social factors that impact people's health?
Access. And access is driven largely in part by their economy and their where they are economically. People that have what we would call a good job and benefits and these kinds of things, well, they tend to see a doctor a lot more than someone that does not have it. And especially people that work in varied kinds of small businesses or in business themselves even. Many times they don't have access to good health care. That's why Medicaid expansion was so important a few years ago that we fought for, so that people would have a way to have access to health care. one of the things that's happening today is a lot of people are what we call gig workers. You know, they're not necessarily working for a company as such, but they go from one job to the next. And because of that, in many cases, they did not have health care as we know it. So Medicaid expansion gave them access to being able to go into some kind of managed system so they could get health care at a reasonable price. And this is something that was extremely important. A lot of people, you know, didn't like the Affordable Care Act, but the Affordable Care Act in North Carolina anyway gave, you know, over 500,000 people access to health care. Well, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Is,
and you think about what it would be like to try to go to see a doctor and you don't have any insurance. That's half the battle right there. You know, seeing a doctor, seeing a dentist even, you know. I mean, there's simple things that you can look like if you have major dental problems. Well, that can contribute to high blood pressure.
Right.
Your teeth. Yeah. You're not able to take care of your teeth.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just really simple things, and we won't even get into the stress of job, the stress of getting to work, all of those other kinds of things.
Now, District 32 is Winston-Salem and parts of Forsyth County. Does it look different in the county as opposed to, like, I know you have an urban area and then you have kind of like, for lack of a better term, the suburbs. Does that access look the same for everybody?
I mean, there are areas where, what is the word? Oh, I'm looking for the right word. There are areas that are more lucrative than others in Forsyth County. We kind of have a lot of everything, actually. but there are areas that are, you know, and I can pretty much look at zip codes and tell you, you know, from just looking at the zip code, what's there and what's not. And I think those are very, very real things.
Okay. All right. From a legislative perspective, what is North Carolina doing at the moment? Or what should we be doing to address these social contributors of health?
I think that one of the big things that we have to look at now, I think because of Medicaid expansion, we're doing a lot better when it comes to general health care for the masses, without a doubt. But we also have to take into account mental health. This mental health thing is a real issue. People, you know, learning how to just deal with the struggles of life.
Right.
Things are so intense that people have to have ways to deal with that. Yeah. And although some would disagree with me, in some form, the government has to play a role, and play a major role, because mental health is a real serious issue, and people are dealing with their own tensions and, you know, dealing with their own problems. And, you know, you read about some folks that go out and do violent things because voices were talking to them. Okay, something's going on when you hear something like that you know isn't right. When somebody says, "Hey, I'm hearing a voice." Okay, really? You know,
and it all ties together. I'm fortunate enough to work for the VA as an RN, and so I know you work with veterans and firefighters and such with your Senate position, but just that whole it's interesting you said mental health, but just that whole mental health contributing to a lot of things like homelessness, and like you said, there's self-medication and things like that. And a lot of the veterans without the VA, I mean, they wouldn't have that access you're talking about, and they would probably be, you know, lost in the street or wherever they may find themselves in those situations. So I I think that is something that the government as a whole has a responsibility to look at, because it affects the community, whether you like it or not. We talked about policy briefly. What is a huge part of the picture, but communities also play in this important role? How do you see faith leaders, nonprofits, schools contributing to healthier environments for families?
I'm going to go back to COVID-19 and go back to that period, because during that period there was so much good information coming out, but so much bad information coming out. And a lot of people, when I was growing up as a kid, when it came to the news, you had ABC, NBC, and CBS. You had, Walter Cronkite, Huntley and Brinkley, that's what you had. And they recorded the news. The news had not become entertainment, where you have MSNBC on one side, and then you have Fox News on the other, and then you have kind of CNN, which tries to find the middle, and then you have, the BBC or something like that. So people get their information. They may not read the newspaper. They may not watch the news. They may just pick up their phone, and whatever somebody is saying on Facebook, that is their news, or social media. That is their news, or what is being tweeted out, or Instagram, or whatever. So I think that's what's changed, because some people, some of the information they get, some of the things I heard during COVID testing, and then when we started doing here at the church, we started doing COVID. This was a place where you could get a vaccination. Well, some of the things that I remember are people saying that would not get the vaccination. One of the craziest things I remember saying is, well, when you get the vaccination, they're going to give you a shot, and when they give you that shot, they're putting a chip in your body. Really? And they were serious.
Yeah.
They were really serious.
I remember.
Yeah. So I think that making sure that people are properly educated and get the right information, and a person's socioeconomic situation may have a lot to do with the information that they receive or they get. Who do they listen to? What is being said at the barbershop or the beauty shop or wherever. So I think those are real serious determinants that we have to work a little bit harder to get things done. And I think that is, from an African American perspective, I think the church is probably the best place to work through.
So Senator Lowe, for our listeners who care about these issues, what are some practical steps that they can do to get involved or advocate for healthier communities? Well,
I think that one of the main things you can do is vote. I think that it's important to vote, and it's important to look at those issues that affect you, and affect your community or somebody because those, when it comes to education, health care, and the economy or a job, I think those are the real three biggies from where I sit. You got to be healthy, you got to have a job, and you probably have to be educated to do the job. So those are real things, and they all kind of go together. So.
Okay. Today's conversation reminds us that health is about much more than medical care. It's about conditions where we live, learn, work, grow, and worship. We discuss how policy, community partnerships, and individual actions all come together to shape healthier futures for North Carolina families. Senator Lowe, thank you again for joining us, sharing your insights, and to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We hope you'll continue to stay engaged. with conversations about health equity and community well-being. Till next time, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. I hope you enjoyed the content. If there's anything that you would like for me in the future to talk about or visit, please put it in the comments. Also, like and subscribe to this channel, Bart Productions. Big shout out to Bart Productions, and also to ECU Department of Nursing. Thank you for giving me this vision to start this podcast.